Hello and welcome to a new Scale 500 news video where I have some very exciting news for you coming straight from Aether Model. Because in this video I can bring to you for the very first time anywhere here on the internet the announcements for their third batch, which technically will be the batch 1 of 2026 with an expected arrival time of February 2026. Now, if you a few weeks ago watched my Instagram live stream, which I did together with the founder of Aether Model, there we were already able to drop some hints as to what models possibly could be in this upcoming release batch from Aether Model. And in the chat there were already quite a few of you getting quite close to what will be coming in this release batch. So with no further ado, let's jump right into it and see what Aether Model has in store for us this time around. And what I can already reveal is there are some new molds coming from Aether Model with this third batch, batch 1 2026. So while there are some new molds being introduced with this release batch, the very first model is not featuring a new mold. So far we have of course seen from Aether Model the Boeing 787-9 and the Airbus A330-300, and the first model in this batch is of a 787-9 in a special livery of Xiamen Air. And to be honest, I think this might be a little bit of a passion project of the founder of Aether Model. But I mean, I guess it's well deserved. He has really been working hard to get this company up and running and deliver already some very exciting aircraft models. Not to say that this is not exciting, but I definitely think this is more niche, will not match with everyone's collection, but hey, it is still a quite interesting and lovely livery, and of course has a quite important message with their support for the United Nations. But there is not just support for the United Nations to be found in this batch, but also support for collectors' wishes in form of a new mold and an airline that also I know very many will be excited for. The new mold is the Airbus A330-300 and the airline featured is ITA Airways. This I think will definitely be a sellout quite quickly because ITA Airways is just an exciting airline at the moment. It's still fairly new. There has been a lot of change with the airline, of course, now flying within the Lufthansa group. The A330-200 still has a bit of life left in it, will still be flying around with ITA for a little while. So having an active aircraft here with this model, I think will also definitely help and be attractive for quite many collectors. And yes, of course, the A330-200 will be replaced by the A330neos in the ITA Airways fleet, but there is still a little bit of time before all of them are gone. It is a combination of aircraft type and airline livery that we have not seen so far in Scale 500, so very well done also here from Aether Model to give us a model that many collectors have been asking for quite a while. A combination of airline and aircraft type that I don't think has been asked about that much so far, but still is very exciting, is the next model. It is a DHL freighter, it is an A330, and now the exciting part, it is a 300. Now this means it is the first Airbus A330 P2F, I believe the first ever to have been converted in the real world, but definitely the very first time we see this aircraft type featured in Scale 500, period. Now, there is no doubt in my mind that this is an aircraft model we perhaps also could see sometime in the future from Harper Wings, but the good news here is, of course, that we don't really have to wait for that because it could also take quite a few years before Harper managed to do so. Now we can get it from Aether Model, and in any case it will have more details than what a Harper model would have, and of course also at a better price. The aircraft will come with the German registration. I think that's important to note, given that we recently had a 777 from Harper Wings, which surprisingly had an American registration, a good thing, but just so you know, this is a DHL with a German registration. And we stick around with the German registrations, and if the DHL didn't excite you, then I'm pretty sure the next one will for sure, because this is definitely a model that many collectors have been asking for a very long time. It is an Airbus A330 in the Lufthansa standard livery. Yes, it is possible to make standard livery Lufthansa aircraft models. So where Herpa has been failing us, Aether Model is delivering. And I mean, yes, these are of course just the line graphics, but still just look at the amount of detailing we can see here on this aircraft model. And so far, the details we have seen in the line graphs from Aether Model have also been executed on the actual aircraft models when they have been delivered. So I think we are in for a treat here. Yes, the A330 technically doesn't have much time left in the Lufthansa fleet, although Lufthansa is well known for constantly changing their retirement plans. So who knows, maybe the A330 will actually stay longer in the Lufthansa fleet. We don't know yet. But what we know is that we now finally can get a standard livery A330 Lufthansa into our collection. So if you have been waiting for that, now is your time. Now, the next model I am personally really excited about, not just because it introduces a new mold, but also an airline we haven't seen from either so far. It is the 787-8 that is now being introduced with this new batch from Aether Model, and the first of these aircraft will feature the livery of Latam, and it is Latam Chile because it has the Chilean registration code. Now, personally, I'm really excited about that because I really do like the livery, I do like the airline, I like the country, so there's much to be loved about that. Now, I am in the very privileged situation that I am actually involved with Aether Model in terms of figuring out what models could work well for various batches. So of course, strictly in an advisory position, and therefore the final decision is of course always and should always be with Aether Model. But I'm really happy to see that this model made the cut, not just because of my personal feelings towards it, but also because it is actually the first time we will have this featured in Skill 500 Latam on a 787-8. And what I also would like to highlight with this aircraft model and also the next model in this batch is the amount of detailing. Now, we have already had an increase of detailing from batch 1 to batch 2, but there is actually also an increase of details from batch 2 to batch 3. So for example, here on the Dreamliners, you can notice around these kind of static ports, I guess they are, or hatches, now there are also some markings around them. On the Latam, they are in red. That's because that's how the airline has featured them. With the next model featured, which is the 787-8 in the new United Airlines livery, these markings are then in gray. So yeah, that's of course always dependent on how the airline features this, but it's really cool that we are now also getting that on these aircraft models. So further improving the models and at no additional cost for us customers. So that's really, really great. And I should note that these improvements are not just limited to the 787-8, but will also apply to the 787-9. So in this batch, also the Xiamen Air, and of course then going forward to on the other Dreamliners as well. What is also great is just the fact that we now also have the 787-8 in the new United Airlines livery. We have, of course, from Herpa Wings seen extensively the Dreamliner featured with the United Airlines livery, however, never the 8 with this new livery, so that is great to fill that gap. And what I also really like here is the fact that we will now see Aether's attempt of making the United Airlines livery. I have had my quarrels with Herpa Wings when it comes to the United Airlines livery, especially the tail design, which I don't think Herpa has ever really managed to make. And in any case, they've been crazy inconsistent with it. There is no model that looks the same, or no aircraft type that looks the same, I should say. With the new United 787 from Aether, we will then see what their attempt will be and how they will manage to recreate what the real livery looks like on a Scale 500 aircraft model. So those are the models that Aether Model has in store for us in this first release batch of 2026, so the third batch overall from them. Technically, they are aiming for 5 models in each batch for the moment, but in this case we do also have the 787-9 of Xiamen Air in this special livery, and I should mention that this aircraft model will be a limited edition, meaning that Aether Model will never re-release this model in the future. So I think overall actually a quite exciting release batch, now not just with 5, but actually 6 models, because we have this addition of the Xiamen Air. But I think for me quite exciting, I mean, one, that we have the new molds, so now the 787-8 as well featured, as well as the A330-300. But very cool I think is as well that we have the Lufthansa A330-300 in the standard livery, a model that has been asked for by the community quite a lot over the years, and for whatever reason Herpa has not been able to deliver in it. Now Aether Model is stepping in and bringing us a model that in any case will have way more details than Herpa would ever be able to pull off. And I think which is also quite cool is with the DHL freighter, because it's not just an A330-300, but it's actually a new aircraft type that has never been made by anyone, with the very first A330-300 P2F. So that's also quite cool. Yeah, but what are your thoughts? What models from that release batch do you think will be ending up in your collection? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's continue the discussion down there. And while you're at it, if you like this type of content, feel free to leave a like. If you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? And of course, I hope to see you soon again in another news video or review video or whatever else I will come up with here on the channel. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.